Welcome back to the Enlightened Misfits podcast. I am your host, Lauren, and in today's episode, I have Kayla. She is an intuitive empath. Welcome, Kayla. I'm so happy to have you here and chat
No.
about actually first where we met, right? So I met you, I guess it's been almost a month ago, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, so I want to kind of tell the listeners what what inspired you to start Luna Sage Apothecary, and has this journey been like what idea made you launch this business?
So it started as an idea. Luna Sage Apothecary is my baby. It's a brand new baby. In 2016, my dad passed away, but he made hand stamped rings. So he would set up at craft fairs, go to flea markets, all that stuff. And then when he died, he was like, please make sure that you still make them because he loved it. He loved talking to people. He loved meeting new people. So then I had started the Pops Workshop, named after him. Time has passed. I'm not in it. My heart is not in the Pops Workshop thing anymore. And then I had actually lost a child in 2019. And then when we got pregnant with my son, we realized it was a boy. So if we had had a girl, it would have been Luna Sage, would have been her name. Um, so it was kind of one of those things that when I started wanting to get more into, you know, creating different things that I was making jewelry, I was making, the tumblers and totes and stuff like that. But it's more so like, I don't know, I feel like my heart was kind of like, do more, do something else, do something different. This isn't working. So then it was all about, okay, let me research how to make healing oils and different types of balms and lip balms. And, because I have chronic illness, so I was looking for things to help me too. Um, so that's kind of, and I like playing with things. It's like when you're little, you're like, let me go make a potion or let me, go put things together. I love to do that.
Yeah,
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start this. I'm going to go back to, we're going to put Pop's Workshop on the back burner and I'm going to call this Luna Sage Apothecary.
I love that. I love that you use that inspiration to like I often feel like a lot of entrepreneurs um they have these all these ideas and they're like, where do I start? And I
Yeah,
love that.
that was me, yeah. But it was, it's kind of like I want to do something that I love to do and that I have fun doing so that I don't feel like it's work.
Yeah. And you're just a prime example of if somebody's listening to this and they have that really, it's like that soul passion driven of like, I want to do this because
Yeah.
I have a story behind it. And I actually was just talking to a client too. She's like, I want to do this, but I don't think it's going to be successful. And I'm like, if your heart is connected to it or your soul has a story to tell, it's always going to work.
Yeah.
It's somehow, some way always going to work. And I do have to say, I just said to my fiance, if we have another girl, not that we're trying to have kids, but
Yeah.
if it happens, I feel like the universe will just magically, it'll
Yep.
happen.
Yep.
I love Luna is to me like I'm a huge advocate of moon follower, and I know that this if I not have another baby in this healthy relationship, it's definitely going to be very more like spiritual. So
Yeah.
I do love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe
Yeah.
one
Yeah. It
day,
was,
I was gonna say, maybe one day you will have your girl, and then this could be her legend. Like you
yeah.
could.
No, I'm done. We are done. Done. Um,
Oh, okay.
my son has his name is kind of like has to do with like the galaxy and the stars and stuff like that too. His name is Oliver Orion, but Orion.
Oh
So
my
he's
gosh.
named after the constellation. Yeah.
Oh my God. So this just gave me goosebumps. We actually Oliver is actually another boy is the boy name if we have a boy like
Yeah,
that.
we call him Ollie. We wrote it's Oli, not Ollie. So it's always just been
Um,
Ollie.
oh my goodness, I can't wait to tell my fiance. Like I just got goosebumps when you said his name was Oliver. I'm like, oh my God. We
I love it.
actually, yeah, like he's like, what would you ever call our a little girl or boy. I'm like, well, if we have one, and I told
Yeah.
him Oliver was like, I feel like Oliver, like a backstory to this. I had past life regression done, and I had died during childbirth in a previous life,
Yeah.
and that's why I was so nervous, and I thought I was going to die during giving birth. Like I had some
Yeah.
complications.
Yeah. Me too.
I had that vision of that I'm going to be able to meet him this lifetime.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not my daughter, but yeah, that's so crazy.
We met for a reason, girl.
I'm like, we met for a reason. Oh,
We did.
yeah, I love that. Okay, so getting back to your experience as a mom,
Yep.
and you said you were disabled with a mental. What did you say was
Chronic illness.
chronic illness? Okay, so
Yes.
I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs can actually relate to this too. I feel like right now a lot of actually my mentor, my business mentor, she's dealing with a chronic illness too, which kind of led her down an entrepreneur path. What would you say
Hmm.
to somebody that could be even not even a mom, just somebody that is like disabled, cannot go to a job and wants to start a business? Like, how did this shape you into building and running your own business?
Well, I mean, I was working up until my health took a major dive the beginning of last year. I was a server and a bartender for 17 years. That's what
Okay.
I knew. That's what I loved. I was really good at it. But I have what's called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is
Okay.
a connective tissue disorder, but it affects so many different things in your body. It's not just your joints, it's your organs, your teeth, your, just everything, your all around health. And then I also have POTS, which is postural static tachycardia syndrome. So if
Okay.
I bend down, stand up too quick, major drop in blood pressure, I pass out. Um,
Okay.
so my health went into a major flare. And then that's when I was kind of like, all right, we're done. I'm listening to you now because I would work myself to the point that I couldn't get out of bed. Um, so I was like, okay, I'm already doing the Pops workshop thing, but I'm not doing it as much as I want to. So as soon as I kind of, was like, all right, not the 9 to 5s, but my normal job isn't possible anymore. I want to do this full time. And I'm still working towards doing this full time. It's not an overnight thing.
Right.
But it is great for somebody with, chronic illness, mental illness, because it's good therapy too.
Mhm.
I have anxiety, I have depression. I feel like everybody does these days. Life is hard. But with the chronic illness, if I'm having a flare, or if I'm having a really bad pain day, I don't have to do anything. I don't
Right.
have to get up and leave my house. Um, Coming up with the funds is not easy to start. But I mean, if you have funds, or if you have the way to maybe get a small business loan or even just a personal loan, do it. Absolutely do it. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like I'm 36 now, but I'm at that age that I'm just kind of like, I'm not here to do what makes me unhappy anymore.
Right.
Um, so I don't care if I'm in debt. It's kind of like I'm really enjoying what I'm doing now.
Right.
The debt will resolve itself eventually, and that's okay. I could have nothing and be perfectly fine because I'm doing what I love to do when I'm able to do it physically.
Yeah. I love that you say that. That's a big point too with I often feel like we all turn 30 and we're like, what are we doing? Like
Yeah,
I know for me, I'm like, why am I working at a job I hate? Like I actually love helping people, and I was in, like healthcare, so I was in this job that was very demanding. I was a high risk OB ultrasound tech. So I've seen a lot.
yep,
I did calls. I did, worked at a regular hospital. I worked overnights. I was, had 3 different jobs, MLM, always was doing something.
something. Yeah,
Right. And then come to the like come then at the end of the day, I'm just like, I'm so unhappy. Like I have money. It's not like I had debt, but I could pay it off, And I often feel like people like I was like, I want to do something I actually want to do. Like I hate going to work. I hate getting up. I like to do whatever I want to do. And it's like now fast forward, like, rewind to that day to now, it's like, yeah, it's hard. Yes, I have to not necessarily worry about money, but I have to create something to create money. So it's like
yeah,
self, I feel like I always had some like self discipline. Like you have to have
Yeah,
be an
exactly.
entrepreneur.
And
You have,
now it's you have to just hold yourself accountable.
right. Yeah.
But
So
it's easier than getting up when you don't want to and going to work when you're sick, or, it's so much easier, even though it is still hard. It's still challenging.
right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my daughter's here with me some days, and it's like, it's just, she doesn't know her mom to not be here,
Yeah.
like for the first part of like when she was up until like she was like 1 or 2. When did I start my business? So she's going to be 5 now. So it was like one, and I think she was 1. So she
Hmm.
really doesn't remember. She just remembers that mom works from home. Like
Yeah.
that's it. And I keep having to remind her that not everybody gets that, not everybody gets to have their mommy and daddy home with them. It's like she doesn't know any different. Like that's,
Yeah.
so it's nice. But I had to be there for my daughter through my nasty custody and divorce. She didn't have anybody else. It was just me.
Yep.
So it's like I had to frame my life around how if she got sick? I can't take all these days off. Like I could
Nope.
just, work around her at nighttime or, go to work later and, when she was sleeping or whatever. So I did that for a while, but then I was like, this is so draining because then she would get up at 6
Yeah.
and here I'm just probably getting home from work or whatever. So yeah,
That's a lot.
it's definitely, I'm very grateful for the opportunity, to be able to do this. And I just feel like it's messy, right, for a while. And
Yeah.
you kind of just figure it out being an entrepreneur.
Yeah. I'm in the middle of a mess right now,
Yeah.
but I have hope.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's new. Like I said, it is a brand new adventure for me, but I'm not going to give up on this.
Yeah.
The Pops Workshop thing was a um,
Right.
little different, but I'm
Yeah.
still not letting that go completely because it still connects me to my dad. Um, but this
Yeah.
connects me to him too. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
not named after him, where the other one was, but it's still, I'm doing what I do because of him.
Yeah. And he'll also be able to help guide you through different stuff and,
Yeah.
all that stuff. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
excited for you.
absolutely.
You 100%.
Absolutely. It's
Yes.
always one of those things that I'm just like, I'll like be like, oh, I can't call him still. And he's been gone, since 2016. But in like, I always kind of go, okay, what would he do? All
Right.
right, he would do this, so I'm still kind of taking his advice
Right. Or
that I
just
know
simply,
he would give me.
just simply ask and then let the answers come to
Yeah.
you too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that for you. So when you talk, when we're like, we'll talk more about your, like you said that they're, natural and organic products.
For the most part, yeah.
What kind of drove you to create that versus just something that would sell very quickly? And what are some of the products that you make? And obviously, people can go follow you because I'll make sure your links are in the
Yeah,
description box. But
absolutely. So I think the reason that I wanted to stick to a more natural route is because I have a lot of allergies. I know a lot of people have a lot of allergies too. I have MCAS, which is like the mast cell activation syndrome. So I could breathe in the wrong air and I'm covered in hives or,
mhm.
but I'm also somebody who, even though I have chronic illness and chronic pain and everything like that, I don't even like taking Tylenol. I would rather choose a natural route over a medicine if I can help it, like pharmaceuticals.
Yeah,
Um, so I felt like, I'm doing research and research and research, and I'm like, okay, calendula is extremely good for inflammation and, stuff like that. And it's also serves different purposes. So I made a calendula oil. Um, that's kind of like you can rub it on your body. You can, wherever you'd like. You can use it as a face oil as well because I use jojoba oil.
okay.
So it's not greasy. It's not, it settles very good into the skin. It's nice and light. Um, so just things like that, like looking up different herbs that I can use that do have medicinal purposes as well. Um, but obviously I can't claim that they do anything. I can say that they work for me.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that, I can say, yes, it's been helpful for me. I can't claim that it's going to be helpful for anybody else. But with all of the health issues that I have, I want everybody to experience these products. Um, I make them with a lot of love. Like I even told you when we talked, there's a lot of love that goes into these products.
Yeah, 100%.
Um, so, and I make, all natural lip balms, and the only thing that's artificial in them is just a little bit of flavoring. So I don't use any fragrance oil in my balms. I don't use any dyes in my balms. It's made all natural ingredients, beeswax, coconut oil, sweet almond oil. And I make those, and they're not to toot my own horn. They're probably the best lip balms that I've ever used. They work very well. They work very quickly. They're nice and thick. So they kind of coat your lips and saturate really well. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I got lucky and everything that I make has helped me. So
No, I love that when you say that, not that I don't love that you have all these health issues, but
yeah,
you like your brand and your products behind what you make is something that could help other people, and
yeah,
it also helps you too. So right, you can't claim that
yeah,
it's going to help
exactly.
you.
And then I do like the wax melts and the smelly things, which I do obviously use fragrance oils for, but I use a soy wax or a pillar soy blend instead of a paraffin, which is harmful.
Right.
So I like to stick to the natural things. I don't know if you had a chance to smell the wax melts when I had met you or not, but
Yes, we
you
actually got.
did get one, right?
I did, yeah, and I
Yes.
don't burn it. I actually keep it. It does. I keep it in the room. Well, I sometimes
Yeah.
burn it. Like on my altar, I'll burn
Yeah.
it. I think I burned it last week, but
Yeah.
just having it out
It
it
smell,
makes
yeah.
the entire room smell.
I stick them in like drawers in my closet and like just little
Yeah,
pieces. That's why I like the brittle. But
when
yeah,
I
I
want
mean,
to
it's,
in Joey's work boots,
yeah, I'm
but
launching some new body butters soon. So that'll be fun too.
yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna actually try the. I know in the winter time my lips get so chapped, and I don't
Yeah.
like to wear like lipstick, like unless I'm going somewhere. And
Yeah.
I love just my lips to have that little like shine but moisture. So yeah, I'll
Yes.
definitely have to try that.
I keep one next to my bed for every night before I go to bed too. And I think it like use it on my lips really, really thick as like a mask.
Yeah, I love that. Yes. So, can you share a little, maybe like one or two or maybe just one challenge that you've faced with growing your business and how you kind of overcame that?
I think I know that we had talked, before about a little bit of like self-doubt. I'm somebody who gets discouraged very, very easily and I'm working on it. But it's one of those things that I didn't make any sales this week. Are my products really that bad? Or like people are visiting my website, but I'm not getting any sales. Am I doing something wrong? Um, I'm not doing anything wrong. And I'm working from the bottom up. I'm working from the ground up. This is, people aren't just going to find me and be like, let's place, a huge order. They know nothing about me. They know nothing about my products. Um, so I think just kind of getting over that and being like, things will work out, even if it's not today. Um, Even if it's not this week, this month, this year, things are going to work out because I'm not going to give up. Um, so I think that's a huge thing too, is just overcoming that, like, I'm not good enough type of thing, or my products aren't good enough type of thing, because I know that they are and I know that I am.
Yeah. I was gonna say you're not alone with that. I feel like every entrepreneur should agree with that not enough. Like making something. It's hard to be vulnerable for one in this world.
Yeah,
And two, it's like, everybody else is doing all this other stuff and especially your niche and what you do, there's not a lot of people that do that. It's
yeah,
like the way that you make products, and I feel like that, and if somebody listening to this is like, you're an entrepreneur or you have, a healing business or something, you're different too. But I feel like your stuff is very unique because if you're not making it, it's not being made. You can't just send your patent or whatever to a company and have them make it. I mean, I guess you could if
right.
you wanted to, but
Yeah, I could,
it'd
but
be different. Yeah, like it would be different. And maybe one
yeah,
day you'll have to have help or have people like, help make this stuff with you.
yeah,
But I often feel like that enough there'll always be levels of I'm not doing enough. I'm not
yeah,
enough, and I always like to remind people like when we talk too. Um that will always come up. And it's
Yeah.
kind of like it keeps you humble in a way that you're like, wait a second, let me reality check. Let me not make sure that, like, you know, you have
Hmm.
sales one week and then, you know, the next week there's nothing or whatever. And I feel like that not enough, like that wound is always there. And that's like the core wound to everything.
Everything.
I don't have enough. I don't have enough money. I'm
Yep.
not doing enough. This isn't enough, all that stuff. So I love your mindset towards you are enough, because
Yeah.
people starting out, you know, it can really, it can make or break you. And
Yeah.
you know, things happen, you know. I think that's very empowering for somebody listening that could either be in this place that they have 6, 7 figure businesses and they're like, I'm not doing enough. I'm, you know, I feel like I'm not enough, or
Right.
nobody's buying, or it's a slow month, or, you know, the holidays are coming.
Yep.
So, I mean, for you, it's great because people could just buy your products.
Yeah. Exactly. Please buy my products.
And people listening to this, I just feel like it's very encouraging for them, because I feel like a lot of people now are trying to start small businesses and they just don't know where to start. And I feel
Yeah.
like it has to start, like you said in the beginning, like with an idea. Like you had
It
an
does, yeah.
idea.
An idea, do a ton of research because
Yeah,
nothing is overnight. I mean, even with, making a candle, it's
right,
not as simple as buying wax, buying some fragrance, and making a candle. There's a lot of testing that goes into it. There's a lot of time that goes into it and a lot of money that goes into it too. So,
right.
research is key. Do so much research. And if you think that you've done enough, do more. Because it's important, especially if you're, working with, products like I make. You have to do the research because they are, some of my products have coconut oil in it. I have to know that some people have a coconut allergy. So I need to make sure, I'm looking up the legalities of my labeling and, all that fun stuff to make sure that it's not as simple as writing lavender oil on a bottle and putting it up for sale. You can't, there's just a lot that goes into it, but it's so much fun because you're learning at the same time.
Yeah, I love that. So, what advice would you give somebody, maybe another inspiring entrepreneur that maybe is in a similar situation that you are, or facing challenges of their own? What advice would you give them?
Do what you can when you can. It's not a race. Um, Especially if you have a chronic illness, people with chronic illness or invisible illnesses,
Mhm.
because I don't look disabled, but I am very. Um,
Yeah,
so it's just one of those things that it's like where you start as a hobby, start it as a hobby, fall in love with it, and then see, what you like to do the most. Pick a couple of things and perfect them when you can. If you're in a major health flare, don't do anything. Don't leave the couch that day. Sit on the couch, cry, and watch TV because that's all that you can do that day.
right.
And that's okay if that's all that you can do that day because I do that sometimes too.
Yeah,
Um, and I always say, like, it's okay if all you did today was get out of bed.
right.
Um, yeah.
Sometimes that's
So
hard.
that's okay. I
Yeah,
don't have that option. I have an almost 3-year-old son. So I have to get out of bed.
right.
But it's just one of those things that's just like work at your own pace, fall in love with what you do. That's the most important thing. If you don't have a lot of money, you don't need a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money. I'm broke. Um, but
Yeah,
it's just one of those things. It's like start it as a hobby. Don't start as a business. Never start anything as a business because then it'll fail. I feel like that's when things fail.
yeah. I love that. That is amazing advice. Thank you so much. So, where can
Yeah.
people find you? Do you have? Do you? I'll make sure that's also in the description box too.
Yeah.
But is it just on Instagram and Facebook for Luna Pop?
Yep. So I have my Instagram is Luna Sage Apothecary. Same for Facebook. And then lunasageapothecary.com. For some reason, when I made the website, I didn't add www dot, so it's just lunasageapothecary.com.
That's
Um,
okay.
so my website is always being updated and all that stuff. I'm still working on it, but it's getting there. So,
Yeah.
but
It's
yeah,
always
I mean,
that
Facebook
process.
and Instagram are probably the best ways to reach me.
Okay, perfect. So if you want any more information about her products, or you just want to reach out to her, then make sure you send her a message on Facebook or email her or go to her website. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining us today on the
Yeah.
episode with Kayla on the Enlightened Misfits podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe. You can leave a review and share with somebody that you feel that will gain knowledge from listening or that you feel that could use her products. Stay tuned for more captivating conversations in the future. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week, and I will see you next time.